When you turn 80, something strange happens. You might still feel sharp, curious, and full of life inside, but the world around you starts to behave as if you've quietly faded into the background. People don't call as often. Strangers speak more slowly to you, like your brain's gone soft. And sometimes, even your own children stop asking what you think. It's not that they don't care. It's that something shifts in how society sees you. And if you're not prepared for it, that shift can feel like a slow erasure. In this video, we're going to uncover 7 things that people start ignoring you for after 80. And most importantly, what you can do to stay respected, vibrant, and relevant. Let's begin. 1. Your opinions. One of the first things to go? Your voice in conversations. At family dinners or group discussions, you might offer a perspective, and it's brushed aside or ignored altogether. Not out of cruelty, but because there's a growing assumption. They're from a different time. As if your age disqualifies your thoughts. But here's the truth. Your experience is your power. You've lived through wars, recessions, births, deaths, and revolutions in technology. You understand cycles, and that gives your insight a depth that younger generations desperately need, even if they don't know it yet. So what can you do? Don't wait to be asked. Speak with clarity, tell stories, anchor your opinions in lived wisdom, not just back in my day, but here's what I've seen over time. The more grounded and relevant your voice is, the harder it is for people to ignore. 2. Your physical presence. Next, people start ignoring your physical presence, in the most literal way. You hold the door for someone, no thank you. You step into a room and the conversation doesn't pause. You walk into a store and the clerk talks past you. It's a subtle societal blind spot. Older bodies become invisible. But invisibility doesn't mean irrelevance. What changes everything? Posture, pace, and presence. If you carry yourself with dignity, upright, purposeful steps, eye contact, it sends a subconscious message. I matter. I'm still here. Small things like dressing with care, maintaining good grooming, and standing tall can reclaim visibility in a world that often overlooks elders without even realizing it. 3. Your desire to learn. After 80, people often assume you're done learning. They stop teaching you new tech. They don't explain new slang or trends. They assume you wouldn't be interested in podcasts, digital art, or even online banking. But this stereotype is wildly wrong. In fact, your brain thrives on learning, at any age. If you show curiosity, you flip that narrative on its head. Join a course, pick up a hobby, ask about the things you don't understand, not with shame, but with pride. When younger people see that you're still growing, still curious, they start listening differently. You go from the past to a living library. Never stop asking why or how, even if you're the oldest one in the room. 4. Your emotional needs. One of the hardest parts of aging is how people stop acknowledging your emotional life. They assume you don't feel loneliness, or grief, or romance, or anxiety, as if those feelings expire with age. This makes it harder to open up, because no one thinks to ask. So you become the strong one, the quiet one, the one who doesn't want to be a burden. But here's the truth. You still have emotional depth, and it deserves to be honored. Don't minimize your needs. Say what you're feeling. Reach out when you're sad. Speak up when you miss someone or want company or simply feel left out. When you name your feelings, you remind people that you're not just a grandparent, neighbor, or patient. You're a full human being, and that never gets old. 5. Your value in society. There's a quiet narrative in Western culture that aging means decline. You retire, you slow down, and you get out of the way for the next generation. This creates a feeling that your value has expired, like spoiled milk. But that's a lie. In many cultures, elders are the heartbeat of the community, the keepers of traditions, the moral compass, the teachers. You don't need a job title to be valuable. You need purpose, volunteer, mentor, share your story, support a cause, Even something as simple as checking in on younger neighbors or being the one who remembers everyone's birthday matters more than you know. When you give, you remind others and yourself that you are still vital. 6. Your romantic or sexual identity. Another thing society pretends stops after 80. Romantic desire. People assume you're past that affection, intimacy, even flirtation no longer apply. But inside, you might still long for connection, touch, or simply someone who sees you as more than just an old person. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Love doesn't have an expiration date. Whether you've been widowed, divorced, or never partnered, it's never too late to explore companionship. Don't let shame or societal discomfort shrink your heart. If you feel it, own it. Speak it. Even if others squirm, the most alive elders are those who stay emotionally open to romance, friendship, and new connections. Because the human heart, it doesn't age the way people think it does. 7. Your legacy. Finally, people stop asking about your legacy. They're too busy rushing around, raising kids, working jobs, to ask you what you want to leave behind. But this question matters more now than ever. What wisdom do you want to pass on? Not just money or things, but stories, values, lessons. Take time to write down your life. Record voice memos. Share old photos. Say the things you've always wanted to say. When you actively shape your legacy, people don't just remember you. They carry you forward. You become a voice that lives on long after you're gone. Being 80 doesn't mean disappearing. It means standing tall in a world that often forgets to look up. People may ignore your presence, your feelings, your brilliance, but you don't have to accept that. You can reclaim it with confidence, with purpose, and with love. So if this spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it too. Because no one deserves to be forgotten, especially not you.